Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Schroeder and I am the Creator Marketing Lead at Pinterest. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Welcome to my home. You may hear my puppy once in a while. That is all part of the experience. We're in this together. It's very personal. I'm so excited to be a part of LaterCon and take you guys through just how Pinterest is evolving as a platform and how we're building for creators so that you can publish native content, create natively, build your audience, and engage with that audience all within Pinterest, which is very new for us. Why Pinterest? Our mission is to bring everyone the inspiration to create a life they love. That's what stands us apart from other social networks, is people come with intent. They come with a purpose and they're searching for something to do, try, buy, experience. We have over 400 million people coming every month with that intent, with that purpose. And that means 240 billion pins have been saved, 5 billion boards have been created with an idea, with an intent, short-term, long-term, everyday moments. Each month, 400 million people come to Pinterest to figure out what to do or buy next. And they actually want to connect with creators who inspire them, who inform them, and ultimately encourage them to try new things. They're looking to build that authentic connection with creators who they can trust for inspiration, for recommendations, and more. And I think this goes without saying, but without creators, we would not have Pinterest. You guys are what made Pinterest 10 years ago, and we're evolving as a platform so that you can create right on Pinterest and build your audience right on Pinterest. So there's an exciting future ahead. How Pinterest works. Some of you may know if you're familiar as a pinner or as a creator, but the key difference here is that we're a visual discovery engine. Basically, content is not necessarily chronological, but rather it surfaces when relevant based on a user's interests, engagement, and their searches. It connects pinners to content they'll love and creates a curated personal experience, so their home feed truly feels like home. Pinterest gathers signals from billions of pins to surface the right idea at the right moment to pinners who are searching for it. And this is a huge benefit to creators because that means that content is truly evergreen. It surfaces when relevant and doesn't surface when it's not. The more people engage with your content and save it and it's exposed to more people and surfaced to more people, it'll appear across Pinterest over time. Your pins are shown across different surfaces within Pinterest, so we're going to dive into that so you can have an idea of where your content will surface based on when your audience is looking and when pinners are looking for it. Your home feed is a curation just for you as a pinner, based on what you've saved, searched for, and more. This is where pinners discover content from creators like you who they follow, but also from creators who they don't follow yet, because this is such a clear, specific curation of everything they've searched for, saved, and engaged with over time. Search. As mentioned before, the unique mindset of pinners coming with that purpose. Over 98% of searches are unbranded, and they're looking for ideas that they don't yet have the answer to. And search is the perfect opportunity for your content to surface in front of them. The person does not have to follow you in order for your content to surface within search. Related. This is actually one of my favorite surfaces within Pinterest because it's almost like a little hidden secret. If you have a close-up on a pin, as you see here, Easy Mixed Berry Snacks, if you actually scroll below that pin, you're able to see similar related ideas. Think of it as riffs on that idea visually that you have a close-up on. The Today tab. Really excited to be able to talk about with you guys today. It's a new surface within Pinterest because we knew we had to develop a part of our platform that was going to be more in real time, we actually curate it daily based on relevant, trending content, and we feature spotlights from creators. So be sure to check it out. It's just to the right of your home feed in mobile. Content formats. How are you going to bring your ideas and your content and your expertise to life on Pinterest so you can engage with your audience? Standard pins are the easiest way to get content in front of people. They're the bread and butter of Pinterest. They're great for single images that link out to a website or a domain. Video pins are great because they're an awesome way to capture your audience's attention. They stand out in feed on mobile. Keep in mind that over 80% of pinners are consuming content on mobile, so standing out in feed is so important, and videos can help you do just that. They're also great for driving awareness of your brand and your content and building a native audience right on Pinterest. Lastly, story pins. I'm the most excited to talk with you guys about these. They're brand new and they're just for creators. Story pins enable you to publish right onto Pinterest, including adding text overlay, music, and more. Multi-page pins featuring video and static images. They're perfect for all types of content: food, fashion, DIY, travel, any tips and tricks, your daily routine, and more. Publishing story pins regularly will help you build your native audience on Pinterest, which is so great because they enable you to tell a story from A to Z right on the platform. Here's a few examples of great story pins that have been created to date, whether it's taking us through how to crystallize amazing glasses to fashion for work from home and reminiscing about travel. Keep in mind that story pins are great for DIYs and how-tos, but also so much more. Maybe it's just your everyday routine, a recipe. Don't feel like it has to be a step-by-step process. It can also be storytelling. So let's dive into some best practices for what it means to be a creator on Pinterest. Becoming a top creator on Pinterest not only means that you create quality content regularly, but it's important that you build an audience who's passionate about your content, your expertise, and they keep coming back for more. What I want to make sure you guys take away from this is that Pinterest is for creators, not just to find inspiration as a tool, but to inspire others, to publish native content, use it as a channel, and to build your audience right on the platform. To be a successful creator on Pinterest, you should aim to create quality content weekly and engage with your audience via comments and tries and reactions, which we'll dive into. You should lean on these three things at a very high level to optimize the content you create on the platform. Create fresh pins, ideally weekly. Optimize for discovery when you're thinking about copy that you're using for titles and descriptions and text overlay. And build your audience, engage with that audience, and we have specific tips for how you can do just that. So diving in to optimizing for discovery. Let's specifically talk about story pins as well as standard pins. Adding text overlay is so important because it ensures your content is easily discoverable and that pinners know exactly what they're getting. Make sure that that text overlay communicates the idea or the action or the inspiring image in a way that allows them to see the image but also understand exactly what they're getting if they choose to swipe through if it's a story pin, watch if it's a video, and click through if it's a standard pin. To get a little bit more detailed, your title and description are very important for standard pins and for videos. So you can leverage descriptions and titles to help surface your pins all across Pinterest. Keep all copy clear and relevant. You can use up to 500 characters, but honestly, I really recommend that you prioritize the first one, maybe 2 sentences within that description because that's what's going to show up for the pinner. Topic tagging. This is available for videos and story pins specifically, our native formats. You can tag topics, it'll prompt you to do so before publishing to make sure you reach more people interested in those specific ideas. This is great because those topic tags are actually based on what we know people are searching for right now on Pinterest, and so the process will guide you accordingly. What about organizing boards? Boards help you organize your pins, whether it be story pins, video pins, standard pins, by purpose or by audience. Boards help your content surface in search results, the formats that we discussed earlier. Board names and descriptions impact how your content shows up across all of our surfaces. So use clear, descriptive language in your board titles and descriptions, making sure it's known exactly what that board is for, because that'll make sure that content surfaces across the platform. Adding collaborators to turn any board into a group board can be a super useful tactic. We recommend group boards are used for inspiration and planning, of course, as a pinner, but also collaborating on brand partnerships. If you're looking to have an upsell with a brand that you're working with, a shared board is a great way to do just that. Here are some examples of creative board titles and names: nails, sculptural fun, and cranium accessories, so that content surfaces accordingly. Building an audience. We've talked a lot about this, and this is pretty new for Pinterest. Because we've been a visual search engine, it's been about the content and not as much about the creator. But the exciting thing is that we're evolving as a platform so that it's about the creator as well as your content and expertise. So building an audience is so important, and we want to equip you with the tools to do just that. When you're thinking about how to reach new people, there's a variety of levers that you can pull. With a business account, which is free, you'll get access to audience insights, which is actually really cool. You can see the people who follow you, what they're currently searching for and engaging with across verticals, so that you can develop content accordingly, maybe try something new and experiment. Create fresh pins. We mentioned this earlier, but it's important to create weekly, ideally native content like videos or story pins to keep your followers engaged, getting them to save that content, which will then reach more people and get you more followers. Claim your accounts and domain. This is a part of setting up your business account, but it's so important because it ensures that you have attribution from other channels and surfaces across the web. For example, if you claim your Instagram and your Etsy, then anytime someone saves content from those other surfaces onto Pinterest, your thumbnail and profile will show up and you'll get attribution for that content. Experiment. Because of audience insights, because of our trends tool, you're able to see what your audience and beyond is searching for on the platform, which is so cool because that means you can maybe try an adjacent vertical or experiment with new types of content. We link here to our P100 trends, which gives you an opportunity to see what's trending right now and experiment with content around just that. And then lastly, don't be afraid to promote yourself. Cross-linking back to your Pinterest profile to drive more traffic is a great way to get people to follow you. And you can add the follow button to your site, if applicable, to encourage to grow your audience on Pinterest. I'm going to walk us through specific story pin best practices because, as I mentioned before, story pins are actually our newest native format. They're made just for creators, and they're here to help you build your audience natively on the platform. So thinking about story pins as a key format and tactic to build that native audience, video is a really important part of that. It's great for telling a story, showing you how to do something, talking to your viewers. Don't be afraid to integrate some of your personality into this. We want them to see you, not just your content. But make sure that any videos within your story pins do have text because, as we know in this digital world, sound off is often default. Go for more pages. When in doubt, add another page. Don't feel like you need to add multiple images or collages or steps to one page within story pins. Know that because of the mindset of people coming to Pinterest, they're there to find your expertise, your ideas, your content, and to consume it right on the platform. So if it requires another step or another page within your story pin, don't be afraid to include it. We do recommend that story pins have a minimum of 5 pages. And don't be afraid to make it human, make it personable. Story pins are a way for your audience and your potential audience to get to know you, the creator behind the idea. Don't be afraid to include voiceover or narrate it. It really helps pinners, your audience, connect with you and discover your ideas and encourage them to follow you. Here's a couple great examples from Karen Rosegold, a great friend of Pinterest, an amazing creator, as well as Coco, teaching us how to make an old-fashioned. So diving into some do's and don'ts, because this is such a new format for Pinterest, story pins require creators to tell the full story within that format, right? So it's really important that you explain your idea. Don't be afraid to write, add text, add fonts, colors, make sure the information is all there without linking out. So I know it's common to expect that you would have a link within Pinterest, and standard pins will always have that. If that is your objective to drive traffic, definitely recommend using standard pins. Story pins are so great for building your audience right on Pinterest, and that means that all content should live within that multi-page pin. Create it yourself. Sometimes this is implied, but I think it's important to reiterate. Original content is so important. Don't take content from other places. Make sure that it's owned by you and it has been created by you. Don't be afraid to actually tell a story. Great story pins are helpful, they're inspiring, they're different, they stand out. People can take action on them, whether that action is actually going to do the thing or whether that action is simply finding inspiration and relatability. So plan yours out like you would a real story. Have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And as mentioned before, avoid adding links or making it look like an ad in any way. Quality check. Story pins are meant to feel authentic and straight from your phone. That's okay, but we want to make sure that lighting is good, content is clear, steps make sense to the audience. Make sure the bases are covered, high res, the focus isn't blurry, and what you're communicating, what you're saying, both visually and with copy, feels crisp and clear. An example from Isabel Eats, one of our creators. She said that by using story pins, her audience grew 80% in just 30 days. It's the most her account has ever grown in 1 month. The only thing she's done differently is story pins. So this is definitely made for creators so that you guys can start to build that audience, have that engagement, interact with your followers right on the platform. You can start creating with no website, no blog, nothing needed. It can all happen within Pinterest. Let's dive into creator basics. Having a business account is essential to being a creator on Pinterest. Getting a business account is free and it's easy and it gets you access to everything, including video, story pins, audience insights, trends tool, pin stats, and more. If you have an existing personal account that you use for pinning, you can easily convert that to a business account and migrate over your pins. Updating your settings. This is super important so that pinners who are coming to your profile can understand who you are, what your brand is, and what they should keep coming back for more in terms of content, information, and expertise. The name that appears on your profile and determines how pinners discover and engage with you in your content is your business name. Your business type helps pinners and Pinterest understand who you are and the type of content and potentially products you create. And if you do have a website, including that URL listed on your profile is important to drive traffic back to your site, if that is an objective of yours. But I think it's important to note that you do not need to have a website, domain, or blog in order to build an audience and see success on Pinterest. It's important to get to know your business profile. As you can see here, you're going to have a customizable profile cover, a description of you and your brand, a follow button, and you even have customizable profile tabs to highlight certain boards. This is the first thing that your potential followers will see when they're navigating to your profile from discovering your content across Pinterest. Claim your accounts. We talked about this a little bit earlier when we talked about reaching new audiences and really building that reach, but it's important that accounts like Instagram, YouTube, and Etsy are linked to Pinterest so that when people save content from those other platforms onto Pinterest, you're given that attribution and your profile picture actually appears next to any pins that come from those claimed accounts, even if saved by someone other than you. I'm going to touch on some key takeaways and resources so that you guys walk away from this with the most important nuggets of what it means to be a creator on Pinterest and how you can see success creating on Pinterest and building an audience. Remember that 400 million people come every month to figure out what to do, try, buy. They're looking for that inspiration and they're looking to creators for that authenticity, trust, for those recommendations. Which leads me to my next point. Your audience is truly waiting. Pinners are waiting for your ideas. They're coming with intent. They're coming with purpose. They're actively searching for ways to improve their life, whether that's big or small. Everyday moments, huge life moments, and everything in between. Don't forget to build your personal brand. Use Pinterest to share your expertise, to build and market yourself, and to create native content. That's the biggest thing that's new for us, is you can publish directly on the platform and you can host your audience natively. Be one of the first. I let you in on Story Pins. That's our newest format and our little secret to building an audience on the platform. Get started by applying for early access right on our business site. And lastly, drive engagement. Drive interaction. Leverage insights and trends that you have access to with your free business account to meet pinners, to meet your audience, your followers right where they are, and to drive engagement. And don't forget to engage with them directly in real time via reactions, comments and tries, and more. Lastly, here are some key resources so that you can get started right away. Our business site is going to include all information for being a creator on Pinterest, including getting your free business account and applying for early access to Story Pins. Pinterest Academy, the creators track, is a great way for you to learn best practices, all the formats we have for publishing content, how to measure success, and more. Make sure you check it out as soon as you create your business account. Our creators community is a great place to connect with other creators who have tried and experimented. You can share your own tips and tricks or learn from others right there. And lastly, don't forget to follow us at Pinterest Creators on both Pinterest and Instagram to hear about the latest product announcements, tips and tricks, creator spotlights, and more. Thank you so much for taking time to be here with me today. You guys can follow me on Pinterest at Schroeder Ash or on Instagram at Ash Schroeder. And I look forward to working with all of you as we build a platform for creators. Thank you so much.